How many times have you felt hurt by the judgment of others? And how many times have you been trapped in the constant anxiety of what people might think of you? An anxiety that takes away your inner peace and the tranquility of peacefully living relationships with the people you meet along your path. In this video, thanks to a touching Zen story, we will see how to overcome the judgment of others and preserve our spiritual and personal growth. So stay until the end and don't miss a single tip from Master Yu. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share the video. Thanks to these small gestures, you will help us produce new valuable content every day. In a Buddhist monastery at the foot of the mountains in a remote region of Japan, there lived an elderly and wise monk named Yu, known for his extreme wisdom and for how he knew how to illuminate the path of those who decided to talk to him. One day, Lena, a young Italian woman who was in Japan for study reasons, arrived at the monastery. The girl's heart was heavy from the constant worry of what others thought of her. Her mind was constantly filled with anxious thoughts that made her feel trapped in a web of imaginary judgments. One day, while walking in the monastery garden, Lena came across Master Yu who, seeing the concern in her eyes, stopped her and said, "Dear Lena, why do you let the judgment of others weigh so much on your spirit?" Lena was shocked, as she hadn't spoken to anyone in those days. How, he wondered, did that elderly monk know what ailed him? "Come with me," Yu told her. "I would like to share with you some words that might help you find peace in your heart." Lena, ready to listen to his words, began to walk alongside Master Yu, who began to tell her stories of monks and nuns who, over the centuries, had learned the importance of inner freedom. "Imagine," said the master, "that you are like a majestic tree growing free in the forest. It is not afraid of the judgments of others or the storms that may blow. It is rooted in its truth, strong and independent. You, like that tree, have the power to grow free from the fear of the judgment of others." Lena raised her gaze and, interested by the master's words, asked him, "Master Yu, I have lived in eternal fear of what others think of me since I was a little girl, and this damages my life every day. How can I achieve this inner freedom? How can I stop worrying about what others think of me?" Master Yu smiled and said, "The key is self-acceptance. When you learn to love and accept yourself for who you are, the opinions of others will lose their power over you. Mind you, it's not about ignoring others, but about not allowing their judgment to define your self-esteem." Dear Lena, the master continued, "your search for emotional stability and inner peace is an important journey, and I am happy to help you discover how to stop worrying so much about other people's opinions. Freedom, peace, and authentic relationships are found not in worrying more, but in worrying less about the things that don't really matter. Here are 7 amazing things that happen when you don't care what others think of you. The first thing that happens when you stop worrying and free yourself from society's expectations is that you wake up in the morning and the first thoughts that come to your mind are purely yours. You are no longer weighed down by other people's expectations, and you can finally think about your life. Begin to recognize that you are a unique being with your own thoughts, feelings, and desires. Start getting to know yourself better. Discover what you are truly passionate about and what makes you feel authentic. When you embrace yourself for who you are, you begin to live with greater freedom and not care about the judgment of others. The second thing that happens, and that you need to make happen, is that when you go into your wardrobe, choose the clothes that make you feel comfortable and confident, not the ones you think you should wear to please someone else. Lena admitted, "I often choose clothes that I think other people will like, even if they don't make me feel like myself." Clothing, added Yu, should reflect who you are and what makes you feel comfortable. Start choosing your clothes based on what represents you, not based on other people's expectations or the fashion of the moment. When you wear what makes you feel like yourself, you convey greater authenticity. The third thing that happens, that you have to make happen, when you don't think about others, is to express your opinion without fear. Your voice is yours and deserves to be heard. Remember that your words have value, and when you share your truth with respect, you help create an environment of understanding and openness. So stop choosing the words you use based on what others might think. Another important thing that happens when you put aside the judgment of others is that your soul begins to be nourished, and you, finally, begin to feel light and free from any chains. How can I start nourishing my soul and finding inner peace? Asked Lena. To nourish your soul, Lena, practice meditation and contemplation. Find moments of silence and connection with yourself. Also look for what inspires you and brings you joy, such as art, music, or nature. When you nourish your soul, you will discover deep inner peace. The fifth thing that happens when you stop worrying about others is that your stress and anxiety will decrease, and you will be able to focus on what matters most to yourself. You no longer waste energy trying to keep up appearances or fitting into models that aren't made for you. Remember that stress and anxiety often come from constantly worrying about what others think. As you begin to live authentically, their hold on you will weaken. Practice meditation to reduce stress and learn to focus your energy on what is truly important. Meditating is not as complex as it may seem. All it takes is a few minutes of silence every day to focus on your true goals. You don't have to know the secrets of who knows what Zen master. The sixth thing that happens, and that you need to make happen, is that with the freedom to be yourself, you can invest your energy in constructive activities, cultivating your hobbies, your relationships, and your personal and spiritual growth. Focus on really knowing yourself, your values, your passions, your deepest desires. This will guide you on the path of inner growth. And finally, dear Lena, dedicate yourself to authentic relationships. When you stop pleasing others and focus on yourself, you attract the healthiest and most authentic relationships into your life. Remember, your authenticity attracts authenticity, and your relationships become deeper and more meaningful. Lena, sighing, replied, I have always been afraid that if I stop pleasing others, I will lose the people I care about. How can I do it? Master Yu smiled and replied, authentic relationships are based on sincerity and sharing who you really are. When you are authentic, you will attract people who appreciate you for who you are. Those who truly love you will not leave you, but will be by your side to support you on this journey of growth. Lena listened carefully to every word of the master, and from that day began to dedicate herself to meditation, reflection, and the practice of forgiveness. She began to forgive herself for her past mistakes and cultivate a loving attitude toward the person she had become. As time passed, he began to feel a transformation within himself. Worries about other people's judgment gradually dissolved, replaced by a sense of acceptance and love for herself. He felt like that majestic tree in the forest, rooted in his truth, independent and free from the fear of judgment. And do you feel like doing like Lena? Write what you think in the comments, and let's talk about it together.